Well, welcome everyone to our July Coffee Chat. I am Laura Knutson-Murray. I am the GIS Coordinator and Community Outreach Assistant with IrisBG. With us today is Shanna Jones, our Social Media and Community Outreach Assistant. The recording, presentation, and other material will be made available in our Knowledge Library. All of our previous coffee chats can be found there in the category Articles and Presentations. You can follow the topic IrisBG Coffee Chats and be notified via email every time something new is published. These coffee chats are for you. The idea with these sessions is that we'd offer you a space where you can connect with your peers and have a chat about IrisBG or any of the issues that may arise with your collection. We don't have a fixed format for these sessions, so please get in touch with me if you would like to present a challenge, talk on a topic. It can be anything big or small. Hopefully today you will make new connections here and become a bit wiser. This is an overview of who signed up for our chat today. It's great to see so many people from all over the world. We have our regular poll. If you would let us know your experience with using IrisBG. What is your level of expertise using IrisBG? Are you a novice, intermediate, advanced, or just trying out the trial? And our speaker today is Patricia Malcolm, and she will be talking about PlantSearch's new communication facility. Patricia is the head of membership and conservation services with BGCI. So I will give the controls over to you, Patricia.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Shanna, for the invitation. It's lovely to be here. I might have communicated with some of you already via email on certain things. My name is Patricia Malcolm, as they mentioned, and I'm here today to give you like a live demonstration. So I'll give you just a quick overview on BGCI and our databases that are available for all of you. And then I will go into a live demonstration of the new communication facility for helping exchange material and information between botanic gardens. Yeah, so as I say, we'll give you a quick demonstration and an overview of the global databases that BGCI has that are mainly designed and maintained for conservation practitioners. So a little bit about BGCI. If you don't know us, hopefully you do. We were established in 1987 with the head office IQ, and our mission is to mobilize botanic gardens and engage partners in securing plant diversity. We are a global organization. We're also a membership organization. We currently have around 960 member institutions. And the reason why I mention membership is because our databases and data tools that we have on our website, most all of them freely available for you to use and to access and interact. And our membership is our main unrestricted income that funds us maintaining those tools for you. So some of the tools allows us to do things like this, being able to map how many botanic gardens there are, roughly according to PlantSearch's 3,500 botanical institutions worldwide, holding ex-situ collections. And collectively, you'll conserve 30% of all known plants, of which 25% are threatened tree species. And collectively, we'll conserve 40% of all threatened plant species. That's an estimate and a paper published in 2017 with data from Garden Search, PlantSearch, ThreatSearch, and Global Tree Search. Those are some of our databases that we maintain. So US Gardens sharing the information allow us to create this sort of statement. So it's really important to keep as much of that information up to date. So we have different data tools. I am not going to go through all of them, but just in quick, summary, we have PlantSearch and Garden Search that work together to give you a list of all gardens in Garden Search with all facilities and so on, and a list of all the plant species, plant taxa that are held in those gardens through PlantSearch. Not long ago, we also launched Plant Connect, which currently is not used that much. Then that one allows for if you have like a lot of surplus material in your garden that wants to share with other gardens, that could be a place where you could place it. And we also have a set of tools that are around our tree work. Well, ThreatSearch actually has red list assessments of any, whether global for IUCN or regional red list assessments. So identifying the level of threat of plants. And then Global Tree Search has a list of tree species and their distribution and synonymy. And Global Tree Search portal kind of brings all of those together for analysis of trees around the world and being able to inform conservation action on trees. So have a go at them if you haven't seen them. We also host another 2 data tools that are not led by us, but are led by, so there's the Index Seminum and also the Climate Assessment tool that are also on our website if you haven't seen them. So we've had through the last few years gone through quite a bit of change. This is the look of the old garden search. I want to keep reminding ourselves how much we've done because they do look a lot better now. So this was released, I think it was 2022. Not this one, this was just before 2022. And we have introduced a new look, new functionalities, and more integration within the tools. So this is the new look of PlantSearch, well, new a few years now, a couple of years. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration in a minute. And just to highlight those organizations that funded part of the development of these, so organizations and projects, and the communication facility that I'm going to show you more in detail. That one was the latest funding by Cambridge University Botanic Garden. So in PlantSearch, since this new look, you can, when you upload data onto PlantSearch, it checks against different taxonomic references. It also aligns with ThreadSearch, Global Tree Search, IUCN, Exceptional Species List, Crop by Relative List, and CITES. You can see if you are staff member of a garden, a botanic garden listed in Garden Search, you can see where else some plants are held in which gardens. And it allows you to upload not only your living plant collections, but seed, tissue, pollen, or other living germplasm that you have in your garden. And also allows you to then download a report and assess your own collections. For instance, to see how many of the collections that you have, the species that you have in your collections, are also found in other gardens, and how many of those are threatened, and so on. I will show you in a minute in more detail. So I'm going to off here and start my demonstration. You can search the database for, let's say, Quercus, and then you'll have all sorts of filters on this side. Let's put seed, maybe plant seed, threatened, and so on. And I'm going to exclude cultivars and hybrids because they're usually nicer to see. And then this information, you can download it if you need. As you download, you can say how many of these columns of information you want. Depending whether you're linked to a garden or you're a BGCI member, will allow you to download more information. And you can see then more information on the taxon and the links to any reference sources in terms of taxonomy and any synonymy that comes along. And also, as you can see here, this is the new bit. Please ignore the accession records that's coming. You can only see it with my view that will be coming in the future. You can also see this part here that we've introduced, like what was it, March, we launched it, where you can request information or request material about that particular species. Before I go into that, I think I would like to reiterate that the communications and material exchange platform in PlantSearch can only be as useful as the data that's in it. So having your data uploaded onto PlantSearch is super, super important. So when you go to your garden, and this is me on my garden here, you can very easily upload your taxa list, and I have random taxon list. I mean, this has other fields. You could have it in different versions. You could have it with a scientific name all lumped together, or you could have it with a separate author or genus and species separated into columns. It doesn't really matter. When I add that file in there, it will ask me what sort of germplasm I am trying to load onto the system. I'm going to say it's pollen. I'm going to add to the existing list I might have already these plants in there. So now it will match. It will tell me, oh, your column said scientific name, and the system identifies it directly with a name, and you also identify the author, and it will skip some columns. And you can change this if the system didn't quite get it right. So then it will save the taxa, and then, as you can see, I think my taxa were already added in there because I used this file quite a lot. And then it will tell you which ones went in directly. So the ones with a yes listed in PlantSearch, yes. And then it will tell me some no's in here where that information didn't go through. And it's usually because there's it doesn't find a match at all with the taxonomic references, or because there's more than one possible option. So as you're loading your data into PlantSearch, please make sure that you take a look at this. You can also download any of the data that has not matched and revise it against your own system. So that's quite a good feedback back into your own systems. So if I go back to searching for things, let me go, I always go for Nophagus. So let's say I'm interested in getting some material from Nophagus. So I'm in PlantSearch, I am linked to a botanic garden in Garden Search. So my botanic garden would like some of this material or information. So I find the species that I'm interested in, and then I want to request material for some of these gardens. So I can in here say, choose which garden that I want to request material from. And then I'm actually going to say it to Westernburg because I'm going to see them on Thursday. And then when you choose the garden, it could be one garden or more. So you can request material or information from one or more gardens for that particular species or taxon. You can say who you are and where you want that material to be sent to. And also you need to say what sort of material is it that you want. So I can say I would like some seed. I would like to use these for conservation purposes. And then you would put a message on why. It's usually important to describe why you're using it for. This is information that the garden will receive. And I'm going to put this is a trial for a test in a presentation, because this is a live system. So you'll go continue. You will then get a message on the terms and conditions for the material exchange. So please be aware that the gardens that you're requesting material or information, they're no obligation to reply to you, and BGCI itself takes no responsibility for this interaction. So yeah, let's all be respectful, basically. But generally, gardens will align to the CBD, convention and how we share and exchange botanical collections and living material. Some gardens will have their material exchange transfer agreements as part of this, as well as an extra level. So I've sent the request, and the garden will have a request in their own area. And you can see here in my own requests, you can open the request. You can see the request detail, and you can see whether there's a response from them or not. I mean, at the moment, there's no response. If you've done more than one request, you will see any requests here on the left, and you can see which ones are active or which ones you can archive them. So you can see here that, I had an old request where a garden declined to respond, the other ones didn't reply, and so on. But I archived it. If you no longer want this material, you can archive the request. So then the gardens don't waste their time trying to contact you back. I'm gonna go onto Westernburg access to. So as a garden, you can see, so this is Westernburg, and they've just had 2 requests, 5 they received, 2 they fulfilled, and they've just had a new one from me. So you can see it there on their side. Through the curator can then decide to message me Thanks, Patricia, and so on. And I can also message the garden as the person requesting the material. This is a test, and so on. The garden can also, and yourself can also upload documents to the request area. So if the garden wants to, create a space where you can send the garden the material transfer agreement, it can then send it back through there. And as a curator, you can also add an internal note to that request. So that is just so another person within the garden can see that, not the person that is requesting. There's different options as well for marking it in progress, so that if you mark it in progress, you can also say, oh, I'm checking that I have these seeds or this material, but I am actually fulfilling this request, or you can decline it to say, no, I am not interested in sharing material with this particular person, or don't have time, or I don't have that material anymore, for instance. What else? When you there's another option in the profile of the curator of the garden, in the garden's profile in here. You can have additional instructions. So, for instance, if you want this information to come when you press in progress, mark as in progress, you can have this automatic message to say, to complete your order of material, please make sure that you send us a material transfer agreement. And that could be an automatic message that you set in here. So when you click in progress, it will automatically appear to the garden that's requesting. And also you can set additional terms and conditions that are particular to your garden, not just to the BGCI system. And again, this will appear to the garden that's requesting the material when you mark that exchange as in progress. And also anybody can then set these notifications. So when there's a new incoming material or any change, you can set it as daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or some people if you have 10 staff, you might want only one staff to receive this communication. So you can manage that yourselves. And finally, as a garden, you can download this information. You can then, with these filters on the side, you can see how many in progress, fulfilled, and you will have a number of how many requests you have, and you can change it for the last year or year to date and so on, to get your own metrics of how much material in your garden has been used. So that is fairly quick, and we can come back to some of the more questions if any of you want more detail in some of this. I wanted to go back to my presentation and show you some stats since this was launched in March this year. So since March, we've had, since I said, 121 material requests through the system, and almost 25% the garden has actually pressed fulfilled, but half of them have had a response, whether of some sort. Maybe it's in progress, maybe it's declined, or there has been some sort of communication between the requesting person or garden and the garden that has the material. This is the first time we're able to do this. In the old PlantSearch, we had the blind request, but we never knew how much actually interaction there was in the community using. So this is great as we build this data going forward. And also, I focus on material, but there's also information requests that you can do. It's not just material. It's a very similar process. And the information, the tools are not restricted just to people working in botanic gardens. Those are the people that actually can see where the ex situ collections are held. But if you are a researcher not linked to the garden, you can also ask for information on material, but you won't be able to see where that collection is held. So as a garden, you might be getting requests from other stakeholders that are not botanic gardens, but that might be still interested in your collections. And again, it's up to you, gardens, to decide whether you reply to that or not. A little bit, just a very quick summary of that data till now, of who, from where in the world is mainly being used. We had quite a lot of material requests from the US and the UK, I think there's been one person from Montenegro that's done a lot, and from China. This 69 here is basically some data gaps that I'm trying to fill in of people that are not linked to a garden. I don't know exactly. We have the information that just haven't appeared in order for this summary today. So we'll be able to get a full picture soon of where those requests are coming from. And most of the requests for material are either for cuttings or seeds, and the purpose is mainly research, but also conservation and education. So that's the data till now. And as we build, we get more data, we'll be able to have a bit of a clearer picture on this. So as gardens today, check if your garden is in Garden Search, and update your profile, upload your collections onto PlantSearch. We will be launching properly the accessions level information and hopefully working with IrisBG and other software companies to make sure that your exports from your own databases can easily talk to our databases and vice versa. Make sure that at least one person within your garden can see the material and information requests. So those requests are not like going to nowhere land. So you can set that frequency in the email communications in the tool. Yeah. And, in general, as I said at the beginning, these tools are financed as one-off by very generous organizations, but then kept through our membership fees freely available for all of you. So thank you for all of your members. And if you're not become a member, you can talk to me about that. And signed up to our newsletters. And, these webinars are great to figure out what's happening, and you can always contact me whenever. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Your work is so important, and I really hope that IrisBG community, that you're all becoming BGCI members. It's such an important tool to share your collections for conservation.